Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 16 of our commentary for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. Last time, we made our way back to Outset Island, reconnected with Grandma, and found the Sea Spirit Jaboon, who gave us the third and final pearl that we need to access the Trial of the Gods.
Jabu's
whatever
Pearls
that
is my Legend of Zelda themed jewelry line.
Do you have a running list of all these ideas?
Of all these capitalistic ventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your list of like 20 different cover bands and jewelry line, clothing line.
Oh my god, I just noticed that I go past another submarine. Oh, well, that's probably for the best. Less
What's in the
wasted
submarines?
time.
I forget.
Various things, heart
Rupees.
pieces, treasure charts, special charts that show you the locations of things other than treasure. Like there's one that shows you where all those wonderful platforms I've been visiting out in the ocean are.
Shows you where those pesky plumbers are.
I wish.
I guess there's also a chart that shows you where all the little treasure halos of light on the ocean are.
Oh yeah, I never fully understood that one. Because aren't there ones that only appear during certain phases of the moon?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
fishmen.
always forget about stuff like that. So anyway, our overall, oh my god, if this game had voice acting, we'd be hearing the dulcet tones of Leonard Nimoy.
This is poor comedy, Link.
But anyway,
Yeah, instead we get the dulcet tones of Sheldon Cooper.
Can you
or Rutger Hauer in the case of Kingdom Hearts 3.
imagine if this fish had the voice of Galvatron from the Transformers movie?
I can only imagine.
No, because I don't know what he sounds like.
Oh,
He sounds like Leonard
yeah, like
Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy.
Oh.
I haven't seen the movie, and even I know that. Come on,
Oh
dude.
man, we gotta have a movie night. That movie's legit.
So I hear.
That movie's way better than it deserves to be.
So, Scuttle the Seagull has survived his fatal incident with the bombs. And we're going to use him to collect some treasure here. Our overall objective for this part is to take the 3 pearls that we've collected from across the Great Sea and place them on these 3 islands in the center of the map, or surrounding the center of the map, rather. But as always, there are a few things to do along the way, like getting that heart piece. And so I'm going to try and show a few little pit stops along the way to the objectives.
Look at this goal, isn't it neat?
No.
Wouldn't you say that my heart container is complete?
If that goal's so great, why isn't there a goal too? God, the submarine was on screen like twice, and I missed it both times.
What a dummy!
No, it's intentional.
It's for the sake of the viewers.
Yeah.
They don't need to see that.
See, this is reference for you to come back later on a later part.
Joe, being the Wind Waker master that he is, he already knows what's in the submarine, and he knows it's not worth his time. His or the viewer's time.
Yeah. But fighting this boss we've already fought definitely is.
Man,
Because now we have a new way to attack him.
man, outside of random squid boys, sailing the ocean's just very zen. Like, I get just...
Well, especially at nighttime when there's no music and all you can really hear is the like the boat creaking and the wind and the waves.
Yeah. It's just... Oh,
I'd say ever since Zelda went to 3D, they've always done a really good job with the soundscape, just making it feel really authentic and immersive.
Yeah.
Even as far back as like Ocarina of Time.
Ooh, I just got an idea of something to talk about. One of my other friends asked me this recently, but what would you say is your favorite overworld in Zelda games?
oh.
You know, honestly, it might be the Great Sea.
I think that was his answer.
Yeah, I'm a little biased, as you know, but I mean that's just what my heart's telling me, man.
That's a hard question.
I mean, objectively, probably Breath of the Wild, like by a country mile.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is definitely my number one for obvious reasons.
Like it's hard to argue with that.
The overworld
but
is the game.
number 2 is more of a head scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my number one, that's hard.
I think Termina Field is really well designed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like my favorite. It's kind of small. But like it works for that game.
Link to the Past is pretty solid for me because that was my first 2D Zelda.
Also, I'm sorry, listeners, if I'm kind of discounting the 2D games a lot. It's not. Yeah, I just skipped past that. You didn't need to see it. I have nothing against the 2D games. I think they're great. I just haven't played that many of them, and I don't know. 3D Zelda is more my thing. Personally,
I've never played Oracle of Ages or Seasons to completion, but I've played most of the other 2Ds. Link to the Past is still like number one for me.
While we're talking about the 2D Zelda games, and maybe it's just my childhood love of trains, but Spirit Tracks.
Oh yeah.
Would you consider those 2D?
Yeah, I would. I mean, they have 2D gameplay.
They're like 2.5D.
And the vast majority of the game like takes place on that 2D plane.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to show these platforms because this one's actually kind of interesting in that one of the platforms doesn't have a ladder, so you have to use the Deku Leaf to fly to it.
Triple trouble, yo.
And I remember that kind of blew my mind as a kid, like, oh my god, how could anyone figure this out? I must be so smart.
Yeah, I'd say my number one is definitely Breath of the Wild. Number two, I would have to say, is Ocarina of Time. Because a lot of people give Hyrule Field crap because it's, like really big and kind of a hassle to traverse.
Kind of empty.
But, like, yeah, that too. But, like, because I was thinking about it, like, Hyrule Field versus Termina Field, where Termina Field is much more conveniently laid out, and like, it's got some nice variety in biomes and stuff, but for those same reasons, it also feels kind of artificial, which works for that game, definitely. But I like Hyrule Field in Ocarina because it feels very just natural. Like, things aren't laid out super uniformly, and it kind of makes sense where things are. Like, you got the castle, and then kind of near the castle is Kakariko Village, and then there's kind of a ranch off on its own, and Gyarados Desert's like really separated from all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and I kind of like that in Ocarina of Time there are parts of the field that don't really have much in them, like even as far as rewards go, because like, and again, this is a personal thing, but like, I don't know, I just find something cool in like going to a place that's like, oh, nobody ever comes here, like this is kind of neat and exciting. They just have kind of like a cool / like tranquil feel to them. I'm doing a terrible job of defending like what's kind of objectively like not the best game design, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like,
if nothing else, if nothing else, Ocarina of Time, like it gets like the feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that you can see things from like other places really helps bring the whole world together. Like Death Mountain is the go-to example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a buddy who's kind of in the camp of like he didn't grow up with Ocarina of Time, and he doesn't really, not to throw him under the bus or anything, but he doesn't really understand why it's so great, or he doesn't like get the love for it beyond just like nostalgia.
Yeah, I've also got a friend like that too.
I try to explain to him like, stuff like looking off into the distance and seeing Death Mountain and being able to just walk in that direction and eventually get to Death Mountain and climb up to the top, like that was not a thing in video games until like around the time Ocarina of Time came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it was just a JPEG, it was still like a signifier of like, hey, go in that direction, you can go there. There's something.
There was just like kind of an unprecedented level of cohesion and believability in that game's world, and I think that's why ultimately I gravitate more towards the 3D Zeldas. To paint myself as a shallow video game player, but like, I don't know. I play games for escapism. So like, if a game really nails like that feeling of being in the world and like immersed in like the game, like I can overlook some gameplay shortcomings because that's kind of what I'm about. I've come to realize in recent years.
I really understand that perspective in games because games are quote unquote an escape, but like it shows you the level of dedication they have to the art form when you're playing it and you're like, you feel like you're there, and it's like a place, and it's kind of like a place you want to visit and return to.
Yeah. Well, like this sailing is a good example of that for me. Like, you know, here we are feeding the fish again for like the 20th time. We've seen this animation again and again. But like when I'm playing, like I don't get sick of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just conditioned to accept it, but like it's just, it's just part of the game. It's just part of being in like the Great Sea and sailing around and finding all these islands and exploring the platforms. Like when I'm just playing this game for myself, like that's not boring. It's not a pace killer. It's just like, oh, I wonder what's up there. That's fun. Because it just does such a good job of like nailing like the feeling of sailing around.
Man, this and Breath of the Wild have a lot more like similarities than I thought. Like the more you talk about it, the more I'm like, wow, these two are like sister games.
Yeah.
Man, you're just going to be seeing a lot of yas on my waveform for this episode. Just periodic, yeah.
Ooh, Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Yes!
That's a...
Yes!
But yeah.
That's Blue Chews are magic and health, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of slowly collect those as you explore the islands, and once you get 15 of them, you can get access to blue potions.
That reminds me...
Or, you could just get Grandma's Soup, which is, like, better in every conceivable way.
When our buddy Ethan and I played through... a Great Fairy.
I can't stop saying yeah.
It's your trademark.
Dad, stop!
No!
Stop!
I mean, yeah.
What does this fairy give you?
Bombs?
Oh. Lame.
Yeah, it's this is honestly kind of weird. Like in Ocarina of Time, they had these great fairies you could find, and in Majora as well. But like they gave you magic spells, which I guess fits a little better with the theme of like magical fairies. Whereas in Wind Waker, I feel like they were kind of just like, okay, we need a place for you to get like the bigger bomb bags and arrow quivers, but we don't have time to design more minigames because we spent too much time programming that stupid battleship minigame. So just make the great fairies give them to you, whatever, who cares.
That camera.
Oh, I wasn't expecting any visitors, that's why I boarded up the door. But she just looks around the room. Here's a burlap sack that I found lying around.
Have a bag.
She gave you her grocery bag.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, at least she's eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Sorry, to return to what I was saying a second ago, I don't mean to interrupt. When the Blue Chew reminded me of when me and him played Twilight Princess on hard mode with Ganondorf amiibo. When we ran across the gold chew jelly, that was like it was literally gold in a jar for us, figuratively and literally.
I was gonna say collecting chew jelly in that game is just evil.
Yeah,
because like in that game, the chews like don't have any facial features; they're just kind of these amorphous blobs.
Yeah,
and if two different colored chews,
oof.
Well, okay. First of all, every time you defeat a chew, a puddle appears and you can scoop up the jelly in your bottle. Excuse me. Didn't sound right. And the different colored chews will have different effects, and the purple is the worst one and the most common.
Oh yeah, the purple one.
Like,
it could hurt or help you.
Yeah, it gives you like a random effect. But like
it's the like
problem is that when they throw a bunch of chews at you, they'll like combine with each other. And if like a rare chew combines with like a purple chew, the purple overrides the rare one.
Yeah.
Which can be extremely frustrating.
So
I seem to remember that being an issue in like the Cave of Ordeals.
So you showed it the first time, but what are you actually doing here in the game? You're
I'm putting the pearls in these statues for some reason. Like, that's all we know. King of Red Lion just told you to sail to these places, put the pearls in the statues, and yeah.
Oh, that one looks like Tetra.
Miyamoto's magic will do the rest. Yeah, it kind of does, now that you mention it.
Huh.
This is where the new lighting engine really shines. Ah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it does look
shines.
nice. Heh. Well, yeah, like, when they use the bloom as, like, a light source for something like the pearls, which are supposed to be, like, luminous, like, it looks really good.
Yeah.
But when they make Link look like an action figure, it doesn't look good. But you know what? We're repeating ourselves.
Man.
He is an action figure. He's a figure of action.
This game, the more you play it, and when he, like, hops on the boat and he swims through the water, too, I can, like, smell the ocean in this. Like, the immersion's, like, amazing. Like...
Yeah, even this game, like, coming off of the N64 games, this game was a big step up in terms of, like, audio quality.
Yeah.
Like, everything was a lot less compressed and just... Like, even today, I'm impressed by, like, the quality of the sound effects in this game. This and, like, Twilight Princess, I think, are, like, early examples of really good sound quality in Zelda games.
Oh, yeah. Like, to me, the menuing and the like, dialogue selections of Twilight Princess, those are iconic. And those come back in later 3D Zeldas. Like, a lot of the sound effects.
Yeah, it seemed like
Twilight.
that was kind of the sound direction that they went with going forward.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of, like, harpsichord-esque...
Yeah, deep, more resonant sounds.
Yeah,
like
I remember that in Skyward Sword.
If I remember correctly, I think the very first time I played Twilight Princess, I was just like, I was hyped about the game for a long time before it came out because I was a subscriber to Nintendo Power.
Oh man!
And it was also one of those like, it was one of my best Christmases ever, where I was really, really excited about Twilight Princess, and it was coming for the Wii and the GameCube. I didn't own a Wii yet.
I think you told this story in a previous part.
Did I?
Yes,
a little
you did.
Bit, yeah.
While we were you told it while we were fighting Goma.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess. I guess the whole it coming right off the heels of me like being surprised with the Wii and anticipating Twilight Princess for so long, I remember just being blown away by the just the main menu of Twilight Princess.
Oh my god, it's so shiny!
I was like, man, this is so much more advanced than any Zelda game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was a letter from Grandma. That's nice.
She sent you money. That's so sweet.
Yeah, the letters you get from the post box depend on like the passage of time, and what I demonstrated there, I usually try to attack the blue choo-choos before they become electrified, so I can get the like if I run into one before I have the boomerang, you know, if you don't have the boomerang, you can't stun them. So I always try to get the drop on them first.
Oh god.
More bombs.
He's gonna get Link high
Yeah, they
again.
really, it really feels like they intended you to, like, go to all the Triangle Islands in, like, the reverse order. Because well, actually, no, not even that. Because the Fairy Islands are, like, in between, like, the latter two islands. So I guess they really wanted you to have max bombs for this upcoming dungeon.
Oh god, it's this kid again. I even put a rock in front of my door.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking.
Bag.
I thought you were talking about the bokoblins on this platform. You know, in reference to the fact that this could possibly just be like the same platform that Link's visiting again and again.
Yeah.
He's going crazy. He's sailing around in circles, just going to the same platform over
Boy,
and
what
over
could
again.
it be? What could it be?
Oh.
That is kind of a lame reward for taking out the...
Yeah,
One seed!
It's a roll of the dice. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you're Some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue,
That'd be an
unfortunately.
even bigger slap in the face if it was a treasure chart reward.
Oh,
you
God.
go through all the extra steps to get the treasure chart and then find the treasure, and then you just get a seed.
Well, you say that, but you can get 2 treasure charts from the Windfall Island auction, and one of them leads you to a treasure chest containing a single rupee.
Oh, yeah.
So you could conceivably bid like hundreds of rupees for a payoff of 1.
But it's not about the reward, it's about the adventure.
The journey?
The friends you made along the way.
Who buries 1 rupee?
A real jerk. Another classic Wind Waker cutscene going on here.
Oh, yeah. Laser time, engage.
This was another one of my favorites as a kid.
Mm-hmm. It's always the ones where he gets, like, flung into the sky.
Perfect.
God.
I also like these little, like, chibi depictions of the Triforce goddesses.
Yeah. Some say Link.
Sorry, chibi.
Some say Link is still falling to this day.
He's just in orbit. Maybe he's like Sonic and he can breathe in space.
I also like how the depictions kind of line up with how they're depicted in the Oracle games.
Yeah.
Wait, there's only one that's not in the Oracle games, right?
No,
oh no, is it the Quad Force?
Din is the mascot of Oracle of Seasons, I think.
Nehru.
Nehru is Oracle of Ages. And
what was the third one supposed to be called?
Faror.
No, what was the third like version supposed to be called?
I don't remember.
I mean, it never came out.
I feel like they at least announced the title, but I could be imagining that. Anyway,
it's Zelda Emerald version.
Pretty much.
And Faror was she was basically like the desk clerk inside the trees, where she keeps track of your. She basically manned the like cross game stuff.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to.
I don't know about you guys, but that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah. Here's the Tower of the Gods. Like, boom.
Yeah.
Real nice. That's another example of like them using really good camera work to convey like the sense of scale of this place compared to Link and his tiny little boat.
I just realized that whenever the fairy gave you the new bomb bag, she filled up your bombs.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
got a crap ton of bombs.
And then I just wasted them away.
I just realized it slows down your sail when you get to not just the door but also the archways around the tower.
Yeah, the Swift Sail does that to stop you from like crashing into stuff. Nice that they thought about that at least. Anywho, thanks for joining us. Next time we're going to be getting started on the Tower of the Gods, so I hope you'll join us for that.